Welcome back to another edition of Adam's Fall. I came across Luke Thompson a while back. He's a great commentator from the Eastern Orthodox tradition. He has a lot of insightful videos where he just kind of lets things fly and ideas fly and sees where they land. And so he often has some very insightful observations. And in this little clip, he talks about, quote, industrial religion and how that could be potentially bad and how he hates industrial religion. So let's take a listen to his comment.
I hate industrial religion in Christianity.
So he hates industrial religion. And when I came across this or heard his phrase about this, of course, I ran to President Dwight D. Eisenhower's farewell address. This kind of immediately came to mind. And in January 17th, 1961, in his farewell address, President Dwight Eisenhower warned against the establishment of a, quote, military industrial complex. And in a speech of less than 10 minutes, President Eisenhower delivered his political farewell to the American people on national television. And they were surprised at his strong warnings about the dangers of the military industrial complex. So this kind of harkens to back to, I guess, a big machine that had developed around Second World War to develop and provide weapons and armaments, and these large corporations were dependent on continued war. This complex had developed, and that would be a danger to the government and our society if their power became too much. And so my question is industrial religion exist and is it bad? Is it something like this military industrial complex? Well, yes, I think there are industrial religions, religions that have become all about power and establishing central authority and dictating to their followers, people in the pews, and that there's no personalism, there's no respect for the people that are part of the religion, and it's become more like a totalitarian government. But there is a place for organized religions, ones that provide community. There's no more telling sign of somebody who's depressed is that they become alone and isolated. People need community. We're a tribal species. So industrial religions can produce a lot of community organization, cohesion, values, where people can meet and discuss. But it can be bad if the balance isn't somewhat on both sides. There is the central governing body, of course, that helps organize, direct the church, but there's also the people in the pews with their own personal opinions and convictions. And it's in the pews, in the local congregations, where the real Christianity is practiced, where real people's lives are changed in service and sacrifice. So an organization has to respond to both needs, a need for direction and facilitating community, as well as allowing local people to flourish and helping and supporting each other. So my question is the Latter-day Saint tradition, of which I'm a part of, an industrial religion? Well, in some ways, it may be in that it is corporate. There is a central organized authority with president, prophet of the church, and apostles and other organizations underneath that. But there is also local authority. There's actually presidents of the local congregations that have a lot of leeway in how they run the local organizations. Um, there are buildings that look very similar, but there are buildings that look very different. Our temples are vastly different in architecture and styles over time. And so there's a combination of central and local authority. And in the LDS tradition, we don't have catechisms or creeds that we learn to cite and have to exactly say that we believe in. And so that part of things is not industrial. Of course, in other Christian denominations where they have long catechisms and beliefs that you must have, then it can seem like it's more of an industrial flavor. That's kind of some thoughts on industrial revolution religion and whether the Latter-day Saint tradition is a industrial religion. Of course, there's some dangers in this type of approach, and I think it's an ongoing balancing act within a lot of these churches, including the LDS faith. How do you balance the directing from the central authority and building churches and so forth, versus allowing the local congregations people to really flourish and develop as much as they can. Of course, you want people to have as much independence as you can and still maintain the cohesion within the community. So just a few thoughts. I look forward to your comments and see you in the next video.